Inside Access would like to welcome to the show 2025 Hall of Fame inductee, Brian Baldinger. Brian, the fan thanks you.
Yes, we're joined by Audacy NFL insider Brian Baldinger, host of the Best Football Show podcast. Insider Calls brought to you by Nationwide. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side. And let's go out to the Window Nation Fan Guest Hotline where Brian Baldinger joins us. And Baldy, I'm going to ask you the same question or similar question to what I started you with last week, and that is this Ravens defense broken?
Well, through 5 weeks it is. I mean, we give up 13 touchdown passes. The league worst right now. I mean, there is no defense of that. Houston was struggling as much as anybody. They didn't have any problem throwing it. So, it's a combination of, lack of pressure, lack of pass rush, a lot of time to throw, and then, not very good coverage behind it. So, that's got to get fixed if they're going to turn things around here defensively.
Well, Baldy, they brought in Alohi Gilman and the Adafe Oweh trade. CJ Gardner-Johnson was signed to their practice squad. Bringing in those two safeties, does that signal to you that they want to free up Kyle Hamilton to move him around on this defense?
Well, that's what they want to do. Malachi Starks was expected to be, they lost Washington, early in the year, all season, whatever. I mean, that hurt them. And, Malachi hasn't really done much back there so far. But, when you give up 13 touchdown passes, you make mistakes on the back end, you give up touchdowns. And they got to stop giving up the touchdowns right now. And safety is the last line of defense. So if they can upgrade that position, Kyle Hamilton is still good back there, but he's better when he's, covering tight ends and blitzing and kind of being, the ranger in the middle of the field because of, his instincts and his range.
If they can't get to the quarterback, though, is this all just sort of semantics? Like if they want to get rid of Zach Orr at the bye and let Pagano do it, right? But they're last in the league in sack rate, they're third to last in pressure rate, and there's not a single individual on their roster who you think you have to chip or stay up at night figuring out how we keep them off our quarterback's body. Yeah,
I mean, Matt Abike still leads them in sacks, and he hasn't played in weeks, so. That's to your point, Jason. But it could be just semantics. You do have to affect the quarterback, and when you have to blitz in order to get pressure, you're going to be vulnerable in the back end, and so it's a short-term fix for a lot of teams. You'd love to just be able to control the line of scrimmage and affect the quarterback with four. We're waiting on Mike Green to really develop here. I mean, he's just a rookie, so you got to give him some time. But I was a little surprised they gave up on Adafe. I know he hasn't, in the stat column, hasn't done much this year, but I thought he had a pretty good season last year. And I know he plays hard and he cares about the game, but it probably says more about the back end of their defense that they were willing to trade him for, Alohi Gilman right now.
We're talking with Brian Baldinger. I'm talking to Brian Baldinger at Inside Access here on the Fan. So, Baldy, the AFC's in a weird world right now. Supposed Super Bowl favorite Baltimore Ravens are 1-4. Super Bowl favorite perennially, the Kansas City Chiefs are 2-3. So the Bills just lost a game to the Patriots. Who is the team to beat in the AFC right now?
Well, Denver just had a pretty impressive win, in Philadelphia. And so, they shut the Eagles out 18-0 on their own turf. They look pretty impressive, but the Kansas City is, they got a tough game with Detroit this week at home, but offensively, they've turned it around the last 2 weeks, and if not for the pick six, and you can't just dismiss that, but it was a heck of a play and designed by Jacksonville to pick Mahomes on that throw, but because he never saw it and they hadn't shown that at all, but. Offensively, the speed that they have in Tyquan Thornton and Hollywood Brown, along with Xavier Worthy, is second to none in this business. And Mahomes is starting to open up this offense. So I'm feeling like they're going to come back, and they're going to be a force here by the time we get to November.
Baldy, I know the Patriots-Bills game was very, very sloppy at times, but that was the Patriots' biggest win in quite some time. And given their schedule, where it's pretty soft, are you expecting that we could see New England back in the playoffs this year?
Yeah. You look at, that win, which they're 2-0 in the division now because they've also beaten Miami. But, if you look at the next couple of weeks in their games, they have 3 home games in a row against Well, they play Tennessee, New Orleans, Tennessee, and then Cleveland. And I mean, 3 teams that have 1 win. They'll be favored in all those games, starting with New Orleans this weekend. They got to go do it. But I mean, Drake May got real weapons right now. Stephon Diggs is played great, probably his best game he's played in years last Sunday night. And then Hunter Henry's been a factor, and the running game with the 2 rookies on the left side has been really solid. So I would say that they're on their way here to possibly earning a playoff berth. They've fixed a lot of things defensively, starting with their defensive line, and getting Gonzalez back at right corner really helps that defense out a great deal.
I would have probably said 2 weeks ago, like going into that game against the Giants, and obviously it's very, very early, but I would have said, like, if you made me power rank teams, I'd have had the Chargers in my top 5 for sure.
Yeah.
And that's with Slater. You already factored in he's out for the year. But this alt thing, and then now, right, there already was a bit of a soft spot in the middle of that offensive line. And now it just seems to me that Herbert's become a pinata. Like, now I'm worried about Herbert not even winning games, getting through the season. Like, how undermined do you think they are right now, Baldy?
Oh, tremendously. That performance last week, Justin Herbert, they did throw an interception at the goal line. The ball got tipped. But for Washington to go in there and run the way they did,
yeah.
That's not the Chargers' offensive line. But, Von Miller, all those guys ate against those tackles last week. Mekhi Becton, he doesn't look anything like the player he was in Philadelphia. He's in and out of the lineup, every week right now. But, Justin Herbert right now, I think he's been sacked 16 times, Justin, at the top of the leaderboard. He's on pace to be sacked over 50. And, last week, because of all those injuries, Amarian Hampton went from being all-world to, literally just getting shut down by Washington last week. Didn't look nearly like the player that he had been. And so it's a real concern right now. And I don't know when Joel is ready to come back. They do get to go to Miami this week, and, then they get a couple home games. But, physically, they should be able to do what everybody does to Miami, just push them around. So, that'd be a get-back game for them.
Baldy, you mentioned Philly. They're 4-1, but their offense hasn't looked right all year. How concerned are you about what's going on in Philadelphia?
Well, I'm concerned because it looks like all the players are concerned, and it's not just the fans, which are always going to be concerned in Philadelphia. It's never really sunny here. But, the only concern from all the players is, our offense isn't right. And they're having team meetings and powwows about, how they're going to get this right. But, Saquon went from being all-world last year, a lot like Derrick Henry, to, not being able to barely getting 3 yards a carry right now. That's the source of a lot of the frustration. And then the quarterback is the only quarterback in the league that hasn't thrown an interception, which is good, but it's bad because he won't throw it.
Yeah.
He'll just hold it. And that's what he's doing. He's holding the ball. There's no rhythm to their passing game right now. And there's no big plays coming out of the passing game. He just feels like as long as they have the lead, and they had a 17-3 lead in the fourth quarter, as long as they have the lead, why do I need to even chance anything happening that could go bad? And so it's leading to a lot of frustration between the offensive line, the receivers, I'm sure some coaches as well. But Jalen's like, I'm here to win games. I don't care about the stats. So, when you lose, all of a sudden, that's not really the right answer anymore.
Baldy, I know we're still very early on in the season, but when it's all said and done, would it surprise you at all if Baker Mayfield ends up winning MVP?
He called that rat poison yesterday, didn't he? that question. I don't want to speak for Baker, but he's played shorthanded all year. He was without his all-pro left tackle the first 3 weeks, without his, steady center playing left tackle. He had all these backups in there, and he just battled through it, and they're got a shiny 4-1 record, had a chance to beat the Eagles. He could be. He's just been that steady. And, last week he's thrown to Tez Johnson, a 7th-round rookie, because that's who was available. And no Bucky Irving, no Michael Evans. It doesn't seem to matter. They just keep attacking. Ibuka is amazing. So Baker is amazing. He's playing at a really high level. Now, he's got, Barton and Breedis and Wirfs back in their spots. And they played great last week in Seattle. And so he's got all these comeback wins. I guess that's the scary part is they've required 4 late game comebacks, like in the final minute comebacks in order to get to 4-1. What if he can't do that every week? And if that's what it takes, like this thing might not be as great as it looks from the outside right now.
Baldy, always great, man. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you.
Yep. My pleasure, guys. Yep. Talk to you next week.
That was Audacy NFL Insider Brian Baldinger, host of the Best Football Show podcast. Insider Calls are brought to you by